first half of sports right now. We are at the Pocono Raceway, and we are getting ready for the party in the Poconos 400 being held right here on Sunday. Now, something that is synonymous with Pocono, the weather. It is not cooperating today. None of the racers, none of the drivers were really out on the track. But while it was cold and dreary outside, things were heating up inside as some racers were having words with each other stemming from last week's race.
Did you talk with NASCAR about the restart? You've heard a lot of discussion about it over this week. It was fascinating, actually. And what's your take on it now that you've had a little bit of time to digest it?
You know, it's a interesting thing that took place, in my opinion. You know, I feel that in NASCAR and in auto racing, there are very few moments where, you know, maybe a penalty could be drawn or a foul could be drawn, like we'd see, you know, in the NBA Finals or something right now. There's flopping that goes on. I really believe that in the restart zone to the start-finish line, that Juan just didn't go. And in my opinion, I think he played it right. I think he was smart and let me get out ahead of him, you know, and let them make the call on me to keep me from having the lead and winning the race.
Juan, you may have heard what Jimmy said when you walked in. Okay, well, he continues to maintain that you clearly and deliberately did not restart. You stopped forcing him to restart ahead of you to get to the line. Then he says he continues to maintain that he tried to give the position back and you wouldn't take the position back.
So
what's your feeling on it?
Okay, if I did that, why only Jimmy passed me on his lane? If you think about it. I mean, even if I had let's say I had a bad start and he beat me by a bumper or half a car length, NASCAR wouldn't say anything. But it was Jimmy, the field. So I'm okay with it.
But with today's weather not cooperating, drivers including last year's Pocono 400 winner Joey Logano and record 6-time winner at the track Jeff Gordon were excited to get on the track to practice.
We'll do what we got to do to make sure we get all the track time here to make sure we can have our best shot here. Because, you know, if you look at our season, obviously we're 18th in points, but we're really close to the chase, really. We're only 30-something points out, I think. So we're very capable of being getting in the chase this year. And we can't afford to not give it our all at this point. We'll make sure we focus into the Sprint Cup car and try to get the best finish out of here we possibly can.
You know, I've always loved this racetrack and you know, continue to love it. You know, it's a very challenging racetrack, obviously, with the 3 unique corners. And, you know, with this new car, certainly a few unknowns, and anxious to get out there on the track to see what the pace is going to be and, you know, what the characteristics, car, track, all those things are going to be, so we can start tuning on it for the race. Doesn't look like we're going to be tuning on it for qualifying.
So the veterans were ready. What about the newcomers, as in one Danica Patrick?
It's a good thing we came last week and tested, that's for sure. Obviously, it doesn't look like we'll probably get out today. Unfortunately, that will leave it up to points to qualify, although I've qualified worse than that on my own, so you know, it's not the very back. So when you're coming to a new track, to some degree, you just have to, you know, learn for yourself what's going to happen and ultimately what you need. But I definitely have good resources with my teammates and with Tony Gibson about my crew chief about, you know, what to expect and what we need to be looking for and what tends to happen in the race here. So I'll be asking those questions.
Wrapping things up today at the rainy Pocono Raceway. Still, no matter the weather, there's a lot of stuff going on all weekend at the racetrack. And of course, Sunday's 1 p.m. start time, weather is looking like it will be cooperating, and it'll be a nice day for everyone who comes out. That's enough here at Pocono. Make sure you tune in to the second half of sports in a little bit, where I will be dry and inside the studio back in Hazleton. Stick around, you're watching Late Edition on WILN.